Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, developer advocate at Dremio, and today what I want to do is talk about SQL functions on the Dremio Lakehouse platform. Okay, again, when I'm using this Dremio Lakehouse platform, what am I doing? I'm basically doing stuff on my data lake. Okay, every time I create a table, I'm creating an iceberg table on my data lake. Every time I do a transaction, it's against those tables. But when you take a look at the interface and the ease of use, which I do this, it's very data warehouse like, and that's the beauty of a data lake house. You get to use your data lake storage, which oftentimes isn't the easiest and most fun thing to use, but give it that easy, fun data warehouse feel when you put the Dremio Lakehouse platform on top of your data lake. So just to kind of illustrate this again, let's take a look at the functions of pi and sine in Dremio. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay, sine's going to give you the sine of something, and pi is going to give you back pi. But let's see an example. Because one reason you might want to use find the sine of some value is you may want to be trying to model like the movement of wavelengths and things like that. So here we have a table of wave angles we're going to create, where we have different entries, which is just basically an ID for the entry, and the angle in degrees. So again, we're expressing that angle in degrees, but we want to find the sine, which is going to require radians, or at least that to be expressed in radians and not in degrees, which we'll address in just a moment. Okay, but we're going to insert some records. So here we have a bunch of waves and with their angle in degrees. Okay, and now we're going to use the sine function to kind of discover how to find the radians. So again, to find the radians, all we do is we take the degrees, which is what we have in our table, and we're going to multiply it by pi divided by 180. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there, and then that'll give us, then we just multiply that. So in this case, what we're doing is we're taking the sine, and we're taking the angle in degrees and multiply it by pi divided by 180. Okay, and that'll give us the sine of the angle. Okay, and which we can then use to help sort of model the movement of waves. Okay, cool. So we can run that. Let me just make sure I set the right context. Okay, put that into our January folder for demos in January. I'm going to hit run. And again, remember, you can always find the code for this in any of the videos I've done in this month in the video description. There's a link to a page with all the different SQL code snippets, so that way you can try these demos out yourself, see them in action, or you just use them as a reference for your own particular use cases. But with that, let's take a look at the results. Again, when we created the table, we inserted the records, and we got the sine for each angle. So here we have the angle in degrees and the resulting sine for that particular angle, okay, for that wave. So yeah, basically you can do that with Dremio, and it has a lot of functions for finding things like cosine, sine, and more. So that's all available for you when you're using the Dremio Lakehouse platform to make your life easier in writing your SQL. I'll see you all soon. Have a good one.